We are back and better than ever. You are listening to the new and improved Cryptune Radio. I am your host, David Figueroa, and I am thrilled to welcome you to the Cryptune Podcast, a podcast where we represent our technology company, Cryptune. In this episode, we will be discussing blockchain technology. Also, we have a special guest. He is a business owner, entrepreneur, and the star of the front cover of the very first Cryptune magazine for the month of August 2018. His name is Chelo Ramirez.
Yes.
But first, let me welcome my co-host, Eduardo Limes. High five, buddy.
Hey, what's going on, buddy? First of all, I want to say, what a great intro. Yes, we are improved. We are better than ever. We're still in the process of, adapting to our space and the cameras and everything, because now we have cameras. We're doing our podcast so that we're also showing video footage for you guys.
I know, it looked pretty nice, right?
Absolutely. And I can't wait for our banner to come.
That's going to be great.
Yeah, so we're still working, guys, we are very excited to have started our third episode. And I want to say hello to all the Cryptunian community. We are so ecstatic and thankful for the massive support that you guys have been giving us. From everyone that has listened to our podcast, both English and Spanish. We have received great feedback from our listeners, confirming that our information has greatly helped them to become way more educated than what they knew before concerning our company, Cryptune. Yep. And also our current products that we have been working on. They also said that they feel very comfortable learning with us because we have been able to tap into the Spanish community. And the reason why I say that is because, unfortunately, it's a community that knows little to almost nothing concerning this new adaptation of technology that has arrived. On our previous podcast, we started by introducing our amazing technology company, how we first heard about cryptocurrency. I don't know if you remember that. It was the first episode.
I remember everything.
How we came into Cryptune and became part of it. The different types of products also that we were currently developing, and also our future plans for Cryptune.
Exactly.
Today, we would love to continue educating our listeners and viewers with more sophisticated topics that will increase your knowledge and help you adapt to this new technology in case you haven't done so. We ended up going back to some questions that some of our listeners had.
Yes.
We listened to all of them, and they were all great questions, guys. But there was one that we felt the necessity to consider. We're not gonna lie, that question was a question that we had already planned to cover on our episode, regardless, due to its importance.
Yes, which is now.
Right now, pretty much. So, producer, why don't you play that clip?
Hi, my name is Daniel Alcott. I got introduced to Cryptune through my office. The guys had an office next door, and I saw how incredibly hard they were working, and I got interested in what they were doing. They then invited me to an event in New York City, which was really exciting, and they rolled out all their plans for the future. There are a couple of things that I wanted a little bit more information on, specifically the point of sale part of the equation, and also the blockchain technology. So I was wondering if you guys could provide a little more information in both of those areas. Thank you. Bye.
Well, actually, guys, that is Daniel. Daniel, thank you very much for visiting our website, which you can also visit, guys. It's www.cryptune.io. We are glad that we were able to catch his attention with our website. As our web developers, they're always looking for easy ways, right, to design a user-friendly platform. So instead of answering your question directly, Daniel, we will dedicate this whole segment discussing what is blockchain.
Exactly. To your point about checking out our website, that's a great advice for everyone. Daniel, thank you for also visiting our website and
Yes.
And noticing certain things and picking out a question such as what is blockchain technology.
Right. It's actually a great question, to be honest, too.
Exactly, and it so happens that today's episode is about blockchain technology.
Right.
So, great question. But before I start talking about blockchain technology, I would like for you, Eduardo, to, by definition, to tell us what is blockchain.
Absolutely. I'll give you the definition. Blockchain is a decentralized, distributed, and public digital ledger that is used to record transactions across many computers so that the record cannot be altered retroactively without the alteration of all subsequent blocks and the collusion of the network.
Okay. All right. So you might be asking yourself, what does that mean?
Right.
Well, I don't know what that means. Okay, show is over.
No, guys, we don't. We're here to educate.
No. Okay, I know what that means. Okay, so we're gonna start by saying that blockchain is a peer-to-peer software technology that protects the integrity of digital piece of information.
All right, you're talking my language now.
Okay, so when we talk about peer-to-peer software, we're talking about a software that allows users to share amongst one another. Now, I said peer-to-peer software. What does that mean? Let's simplify this thing real quick.
Okay.
Peer-to-peer means person to person.
Peer to peer.
Okay.
Duh.
So, you have a software that you want to share with someone else,
Right.
right? Person to person, peer to peer. And also to shorten this peer to peer is P2P. So when you hear P2P, P2P,
Right.
that means peer to peer.
Okay. Perfect.
Eduardo, I don't know if you remember back in the day, I guess in the early 2000s, if you remember the software named Napster.
Napster. No. Honestly, I don't.
Okay, well, Napster is or was a file sharing music program
Okay.
where people used to share music,
Okay.
right? Peer to peer. I have a song and I want to share it with you,
So I can listen to it.
and we'll share it, and vice versa. If you have music, then you'll share it with me. Okay. And the reason that I bring this example up is because this type of software was very popular.
Okay.
Okay, and many of you might have heard of it, and you never heard of it.
Right.
So now you know what Napster is.
Right.
And now that I briefly explained peer-to-peer, let's go back to our topic today, blockchain.
Right.
Elements of the blockchain technology existed prior to Bitcoin. Okay. Have you ever heard of Hashcash?
You really are beating on my brain today. No, I haven't.
Okay. Okay. What about B Money?
B Money, I heard of it slightly.
Slightly. Okay.
Yes.
Well, these were companies that were around in the late 90s.
Okay.
Okay. They use some type of version of the blockchain technology.
Okay.
Back in those days, they didn't call it blockchain technology.
Okay.
Okay, but the concept was there.
Okay.
Okay, they were using certain aspects of that type of technology.
Okay.
Okay, so now let's fast forward to 2008.
Okay.
There was this mystery man,
Mhm.
and I say this with quotes.
Mhm.
Do you know the name of this mystery man?
Satoshi Nakamoto.
Answer.
Oh man. Oh, you got me. I was like, wait, I know Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, Satoshi Nakamoto, as many of you know, but for the ones that don't know, it's a mystery man because at the end of the day, we don't know if it's really a man or a woman or a group of people.
Yes. Yes. Good point. All right. He or they designed the blockchain technology to avoid double spending and to secure transactions confirmation.
Okay.
Okay, so what are we talking about here? We're talking about avoiding higher fees and cutting the middleman.
Okay, that's more plain English.
It's plain and simple, right?
Yes.
Satoshi Nakamoto
Mhm.
used the technology that was being used in the late 90s
Okay.
and added what was needed,
Mhm.
and he took out what didn't work to design the blockchain technology as we know it today. Okay?
Hmm.
So when you put everything together,
Mhm.
the first implementation of the blockchain technology,
Mhm.
what do you think it was?
Bitcoin.
Exactly. Bitcoin was the first implementation of the blockchain technology.
Okay.
Other than just Bitcoin, other cryptocurrencies, is part of that equation.
Mhm.
Online signature services,
Mhm.
voting services, in which a lot of people don't know
Mhm.
about, and other application uses the blockchain technology.
Okay.
Now, let me explain how it works and what's fascinating about the process, right?
Okay.
As far as I know, everyone uses paper money, right?
Most of us, right?
Yeah, most of us. All right, let's see how we're gonna break this down. Let me see.
You needed something?
By any chance, do you have paper money?
Oh man, of course. I got tons of paper money, bro. I got stacks.
You got stacks?
I got stacks. I mean, they got different numbers, like 1, a 5. Which one you want? A 20? A 20?
I don't know. Your pick. What's your
Okay,
pick?
I'll give you a 20.
Okay.
Give it. Yes.
Before you hand it over, check if it's real or if it's fake or.
The face is smiling, but the face on the background's there, so that proves that it's real, according to my understanding.
All right, let me hold it.
I'm letting it, holding it. Okay.
Let me recheck this thing. Yup, it's real. Is it real?
I mean, the guy that gave it to me this morning said he was fresh. I don't know what he meant by that, but
Okay. It's real.
okay.
Now that I know that this is real,
Mhm.
I'm gonna give it back to you. Pretend this is my $20 bill, right? And I'm
Mhm.
giving it to you.
Okay. We're
Right.
just pretending. This is my $20 bill, though.
Okay. I'm lending you those $20.
Okay.
As we know, as we checked
Right.
and rechecked,
Right.
Those $20 is real,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I lend you those $20. Now, you want to pay me back,
Okay.
right? Now, you don't want to pay me back with paper money.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that you send me an email
Mm-hmm.
and it says, "Dear David,
Mm-hmm.
I am."
I'm typing it, right? I'm typing an email right now.
I like the way you fake typing it. It says, "Dear David, here is your $20 bill," and then you press send. I received the email. I open it up, and I read what you type.
Right.
Here's the $20 bill.
Right.
But attached to it, I don't see anything.
Okay.
I don't see nothing attached. I don't see anything that says anything of value, equal value to $20 bill.
Okay. It's just pretty much just words.
It's just words. It's just a message. You just send me a message, a message that's not valuable.
Right.
Okay. Now let's pause right there. Let's hold on to that.
Okay.
Okay. I don't trust your email. Let's move on from that.
Okay.
When we transfer money, we use ATM,
Mm-hmm.
or we pay with some type of card,
Right. Like a credit, debit.
credit, debit,
Mm-hmm.
right? You get the point. That's pretty much exactly what we do. When we use ATMs or any payment cards, we are sending money,
Mm-hmm.
and we are sending a digital message.
Right.
Okay? To make sure that no one is sending money that they don't have,
Mm-hmm.
these digital messages go through a few trusted banks. The centralized banks.
Right. Right.
Okay? These banks, they keep record of everything. They know how much money everyone has.
Oh, they definitely do.
They deduct it properly, accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
For every transaction, this becomes very expensive.
Hmm.
Okay? There's millions of transactions around the world every minute.
Wow. 1 million transactions around the world every minute.
And like I said, this becomes expensive. What are we talking about here as far as being expensive?
Right. Like a number. Give us a number.
I don't know an exact number,
Okay.
but I could give you an estimate.
Okay.
It's estimated that a few $trillion is spent to process these payments.
Trillion with a T.
T.
Wow.
Trillion. With blockchain, we can save a lot of these costs
Hmm.
because it lets us send money
Mm-hmm.
just like sending an email,
Mm.
right?
Okay.
It's not like that email that you pretend that you sent me,
Right.
saying, "Hey, David,
Here's the $20
Here's the
that you let me
$20.
borrow. Right.
right? This is an actual
Message with value.
message with value, right? That's the idea of the blockchain.
Okay.
So instead of sending a lot of payment information through a few servers,
Mm-hmm.
in which centralized banks do,
Mm-hmm.
blockchain
Mm-hmm.
uses thousands of personal computers on the internet.
Hmm.
Okay. So when I say thousands of personal computers, this is when it becomes peer to peer. Remember in the beginning of the segment,
Right.
I was talking about peer to peer,
Right.
P2P,
P2P. Right.
because it's going through personal computers.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
All these transactions are copied and cross-checked between every computer in a system-wide accounting book called the ledger.
Okay.
Okay, which becomes very safe at scale. Blockchain doesn't allow us to create save money online, but it protects any piece of digital information.
Okay.
Okay, this could be ID cards,
Mm-hmm.
online identity cards,
Mm-hmm.
voter ballots, in which what we spoke about earlier in the segment,
Right.
contracts, and many other legal instruments. Now that I simplified this whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
the process of blockchain,
Okay.
Eduardo, how does Cryptune capitalizes using the blockchain technology?
It's a great question. And first of all, I want to say that I'm mind blown by all this information you just provided. I feel like I'm in Krypton University and you're my teacher.
You have a lot to learn, young grasshopper.
Yes, I do.
But now that you mentioned the Krypton University,
Right.
I do want to inform you, if you didn't know, and our viewers and listeners, that we are in the process of putting this project together. What is Krypton University? To educate the masses.
Right.
So yes, Krypton University is gonna be a thing. So be on the lookout. It's coming soon.
You know what? With so much work that we've been doing, I had almost forgotten about that. But yes, it's going to be another outlet for education.
Exactly.
So you asked me, right? How will Cryptune capitalize using blockchain technology?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, this is how it will capitalize. It will do it by keeping all transactions decentralized.
Good point.
So-
Good point. Because we spoke about the centralized banks, right?
Yes. Centralized banks.
Centralized banks. Yes.
Right.
And the blockchain technology uses
Decentralized service.
decentralized service.
Right.
Keywords there.
Exactly. Centralized and decentralized. They almost sound the same, but huge difference.
Okay.
In other words, there is no middleman. But most importantly, no data breach, meaning it has high security and privacy to keep your data secure. Also, the transaction fees are going to be way lower than what, as you guys know, third parties charge.
Yes.
This will be very beneficial for the consumers and the merchants.
Right.
How, you may ask? Well, for the consumers, they will have in their wallet a one payment method solution, a universal ecosystem for all purchases at a lower cost with the ability to loan, save, spend, and transmit to anyone, anywhere in the world, worldwide.
Fantastic.
For merchants now, these are some of the problems they face today. One, they have little options in regarding to point of sale systems that require long, costly service contracts, high transaction fees, and lack of ability to accept cryptocurrency, leaving consumers the only option of converting their digital assets on an exchange.
Right.
And that incurs large transaction fees to get fiat or everyday currency to purchase their everyday essentials and large asset purchases. There is no efficient POS system that universally accepts all payment options. Current Bitcoin transactions are very slow due to the transaction verification time, and it's costly, thereby initiating delays and costs that spur merchants to abandon accepting crypto payments.
Okay.
These needless hurdles go against the core principles for creating cryptocurrency in the first place. Allowing direct payments between two parties, removing the unnecessary middlemen or excessive transactions and the associated fees. How do we plan to solve this? Well, merchants will benefit from lower fees, the ability to accept cryptocurrency.
That's actually important.
Yes.
Merchants that we have spoken to, they are very excited about that because they have met consumers that do have cryptocurrency and they're not sure what to do with it.
Right.
So having the option in the POS to accept cryptocurrency,
right,
it's a great idea.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah. So
That means more business.
exactly. Big ups to Cryptoon for even thinking about that.
Yes. So, like I was saying, right? Merchants will benefit from lower fees, which they will have the ability to accept cryptocurrency and be able to communicate with customers, staff, and the POS system digitally from anywhere in the world with a mobile phone. So with the mobile phone nowadays, you could literally do all of this.
Yeah, that very nice.
We want to inform the crypto community that Cryptoon is looking to enhance how we use cryptocurrency on our daily lives. And let me specify this. If you own cryptocurrency today and have, for example, Bitcoin, Litecoin, or Ethereum,
Yeah.
and eventually, right, our awesome utility token called CPT. By the way, CPT is a short name for Cryptoon. So, guys, every time you hear CPT, we are talking about our utility token, Cryptoon. So going back, owning these types of currencies, you as a consumer will have options to pay with either one of them because of the technology that will be implemented in our universal POS system.
Yes.
This is why Cryptoon is set to become, hear this out, a world player in the POS systems.
Yes.
Yes, there is a bunch of POSs.
Well, you're right about that. I believe that in the world, in the community of crypto, as far as I know, we're the only ones making this possible.
Right.
With
We're like the pioneers right now.
Yes. Yeah. I don't see anyone else doing that.
No.
Just to
Well, it's the
just to
problem.
put it out there.
Yes.
We are the pioneers of.
And we got a lot more to implement into it, but right now this is what we have, right? So we are, setting ourselves to become, a world player in the POS systems, because even though, like we mentioned, there's other POS systems out there, and they might have great software and everything. That one thing that they do not have is cryptocurrency acceptance.
Yes.
So this is going to be great. There's just so much more to talk about these topics, but don't worry, because the Cryptoon podcast is going to stay around for a long time.
Yes, sir. And as I mentioned before, we will also have the Cryptoon University.
Exactly.
I just want to keep stressing that part where we could continue to learn about cryptocurrency and more. Right.
Right.
But right now.
Wait. I think you know what you're gonna say.
Okay. What am I gonna say, Eduardo?
Well, you were gonna end the segment, right?
Yes, and you interrupted me for what reason?
I didn't mean to be rude, man. It's just I don't know. I just felt like I wanted to end the segment. I don't know if that would be a problem.
I'm kind of lost for words right now. You really had the nerve to interrupt me for this.
I'm sorry, but I'd rather ask.
Tell you what, surprise us, because you seem very excited to end this segment.
Oh
right?
man, my hands is sweating. Yes. Okay. So in the next segment, we will have our special guest, Chelo Ramirez. Let's hear it for Chelo Ramirez, bro. The sound, because we're gonna have him come. So we want to make sure he gets his credit. Thank you. And guys, before we bring Chelo Ramirez, we'll be back in the flash. And we're back. No, wait, that was too fast. That was too fast, guys. That was too fast. A flash? No?
Unbelievable.
Oh, come on. You didn't like that?
You have to be. That was bad.
Oh man.
You are something else. We'll be right back. Come on, let's go. Let's go to break. Let's go to break.
At Cryptome, we would like to thank all of our listeners for supporting us with all our platforms. We kindly want to remind you to follow us on Facebook by going to www.facebook.com/Cryptome.io. You can also follow us on Instagram by going to www.instagram.com/Cryptome.io. You can also follow us on Twitter by going to www.twitter.com/Cryptone2018. You can also follow us on our LinkedIn platform. You can search us as Cryptone Universal POS System. You can also subscribe to our brand new channel by looking us up as Cryptone Channel, and also our Telegram messaging app. And you can find us under Cryptone Public Forum, so that you may always stay informed concerning what Cryptone is doing.
To continue listening to the Cryptone Podcast, the available platforms are Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Castbox, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, and most importantly, click on the radio tab at our website, www.cryptone.io. Also, click on the magazine tab. The Cryptone magazine is available now. Get your copy today. And we are back to segment number 2
Yes.
of the Cryptone Podcast. Today's special guest is none other than the front cover star of the Cryptone magazine. He is the entrepreneur, Mr. Chelo Ramirez. How are you, sir?
Excellent.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much for coming, Mr. Chelo. We're very excited to have you here at Cryptone headquarters, and we would like to ask you a couple questions, not just for us, but also for our viewers and our listeners. As you can see now, our podcast, we're going to be streaming it through a video. So we would like to ask you, right? First of all, it's a pleasure to have you here with us on Cryptone Radio in the Cryptone Podcast. We want to congratulate you on behalf of the entire Cryptone team for your participation in Cryptone magazine, which is actually our first issue. So, how does it feel to be part of such a massive project like this one?
First of all, very, very honored. When I was told, I was really excited. I'm very excited now that I see the team that's behind this. I know Ricardo for a long time, and the whole team. I really trust that this team is going to be doing some amazing things.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chelo, did you ever imagine being in front of any magazine?
No.
The front cover. This is you right here.
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah. I always, since I was a little boy, I always tried to achieve things. Definitely, I always went for something bigger. I never wanted to just settle for bones.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I always wanted to do something different. Definitely. I It was a surprise to me. When I was told. Yeah, I was very surprised. But I'm just so excited, happy, and honored.
That's that. I mean, when I first saw the cover, I was like really surprised, like how well your persona just it you look bigger than life.
Right.
You know that. I mean, right now it's like I'm honored that he's here in this podcast. Sharing his story and his association with Cryptune.
Right.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, actually, I also wanted to say too that the cover it looks really amazing. I have to give a lot of credit to our EVP of Communications, Joshua. Also our Chief Design Officer, Osvaldo.
Right.
And also Kevin Reyes. He's also in charge of helping out and collaborating with the magazine. So looking at the cover, it's really amazing what they did. You kind of look like an angel that's glowing. You know that, right? You notice the effects that they did and everything, right?
Yeah.
So I'm very excited for what this team was able to do and put together. They really are making you glow. But I was reading the magazine, right? And there was something that caught my attention. In the magazine, you explain how your entrepreneurial spirit began early as a child. Approximately how old were you at that time?
If I remember correctly, between 10 to 12 years old, helping my parents on the farm back in the Dominican Republic. I didn't see too much progress, but I still did it because that's what we had to do at that time.
Right.
But I always thought that I had to do something different.
Wow.
So when my parents started bringing my older brothers to the United States, I kept going to school over there and just getting ready, to come to the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Once I was here, I just, went right into school. I was in the first honor rolls without knowing the language.
Wow.
Because I really wanted to just go ahead and go to college and get prepared. Because I always thought that I could do something different. I could make some change in the family.
I do want to bring this up because it's very impressive, and I'm sure everyone here can agree.
Right.
10, 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You don't.
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah.
You don't usually hear a 10, 12-year-old nowadays have that mindset, and in a way it's kind of sad. How things have changed.
Well, things are different now.
Things are different, yes, and we hope that for the generation nowadays. You guys get to see, what was his mentality, and it's not late. It's not too late to also apply it for all you young kids out there. And you don't have to be young at any age, right? The mindset is very important. I really wanted to bring that up. Would you like to?
So now that you bring up the young minds and everything,
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give someone?
So my advice to people that want to go into this industry is that yes, it's going to be hard, but it's very rewarding if you really put your time into it and you have discipline.
Okay.
That's one thing that you need to have, because there's a lot of distractions also that you might fall into if you don't have the discipline. That's the advice. Once you start seeing a little progress, then you're gonna keep doing it better and better.
For the record, could you mention one or two distractions that go into that, just so that they can also, in case, have it in mind and say, hey, okay, thank you for letting me know. I'm not gonna let that distraction mess me up.
Yeah, for example, when you open a restaurant, there's always gonna be people that are gonna come and they're gonna ask you, have a drink with me and this, or yeah, it's okay to have a drink, but don't go and get drunk, and then you won't be able to get the business.
Right.
That's
Okay.
one of the things. Also, you get drunk, your employees don't respect you.
Wow,
So
very
you
important.
have to have control and, like I said, discipline.
Right. So
Perfect.
hunger, discipline.
Discipline. Don't be lazy. You got to work hard. You got to put in the
Oh,
hours.
yeah.
He said.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta put in
Right.
the work, right?
I have quite experience also in the restaurant industry, so I can connect with you when you said you got to work hard and put long hours. So thank you very much for that, and we hope that you guys, the listeners and the viewers, can also put that into action. I wanted to also ask you, right? In the magazine, you mentioned that you're also in the wine business. Was there a particular reason that made you decide to take that route?
Yes. Since I've been doing restaurants for such a long time, I've opened around 3 dozen restaurants, and I feel very, very, very happy that the first one that I opened 30 some years ago, it's still open doing business.
30 years ago,
Yeah.
you opened a restaurant.
And it's still doing very well.
Wow.
I respect that a lot, sir.
Yeah, normally a restaurant after 5 years, you gotta do major changes if you want to keep it going.
Absolutely,
So
I
it's
agree
really
on that.
tough. Especially Latin food, because I know a lot of Italian restaurants that have been a tradition for a long time, but Italian food very, very famous.
Mhm.
But we have been able to keep this restaurant for 30 years.
Wow, that's very impressive.
It's still going strong, and there's a lot of others that are still doing business that I open myself. So, yeah.
Wow. Well, you wanna ask him the next question?
I'm still stuck on the 30 years.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive, 30 years, and he's right. And not many restaurants are able to do that. Some don't even go past 2 years.
So the connection with food and wine has come because after all these years,
Mm-hmm.
buying wine from different sell people,
Mm-hmm.
I learned about wine, and I learned to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
So after having a good meal with a good bottle of wine,
Mm-hmm.
I just fell in love with that. It's one of my best times. When I'm at the restaurant and I always gotta have a good wine to pair with a good meal.
Wow.
So that got me into that world, and then I started importing wine
Wow. From.
from Spain,
Mm,
from Chile,
wow.
Italy. So after getting into that, is I have learned that that's what I want to do from now on, because it goes with it.
Mhm.
The wine, definitely goes with food. So
Right.
after 30 years, you get a little tired of running a restaurant, but then you can mix it with a little bit of a different business, like the wine.
Mhm.
The wine industry is growing tremendously.
Wow.
You know.
Congratulations.
So being that you are passionate about your business, you opened your business over 30 years ago. Was it here in the United States?
Yes. I started my first restaurant when I was still in college. Back in, I remember the date, it was January 8, 1988.
Wow.
Wow.
And for the rest of the
Good
record,
memory.
what's the name of the amazing restaurant, by the way?
Caridad restaurant.
Caridad Restaurant.
Yeah.
Guys, we need to visit.
From Caridad, then I went into Marisco Centro.
Right.
It's been doing very well for the last 17 years. Marisco Centro started in the Dominican Republic. I went over there one time and on vacation, and I started a small restaurant there called Marisco Centro. We did really well, so I thought that would be a good idea for Washington Heights. At this, a lot of Dominicans in Washington Heights. So
Right.
I started doing a restaurant there, and we did so well that then we opened 2 more in the Bronx,
Wow.
and then I went back to Dominican Republic, opened another one there, and now in the same line of seafood, I'm doing something a little different now. This is a huge project that maybe you want to hear about. It's a huge place.
Would you like to briefly let us know?
Yeah, it's gonna be called Casa del Mar.
Casa del Mar?
Yes,
Casa del
the
Mar.
House of the Sea.
Wow.
Nice.
It's a place where you'll be able to choose the fish you're going to eat,
Okay.
and you can drive yourself. You can pass that on to the kitchen, and then you see that you're gonna have the freshest seafood that there is available. So
Wow.
I haven't seen anything like that in the Bronx or Manhattan. We're gonna be located in the Webster Avenue and the Cross Bronx. There's a lot of traffic there.
Mm.
Wow.
So
That's a nice concept.
it's gonna
Yes.
be like a fish market where you get fish just coming out of the water actually.
Wow.
And, it's like the fish you're having today was swimming last night.
Wow.
So
We-
that's how fresh is going to be.
Wow. We wish you great success on that one too. I definitely want to go. I want to pick my own fish. I want that one over there.
Yeah, that's the idea. That's the idea.
Awesome. Awesome.
That's the idea.
Mr. Chelo, for our listeners and viewers' purpose, can you tell us what country you're from and how long you've been in the United States of America? And before you start, the reason why we're asking you is because already people they really want to know who you are.
Well, I came to the United States when I was just turning 17 years old, and I went right into school and working at the same time. I was going to school, working full time, and Italian restaurant.
Mhm.
I learned how to cook there. Then from there, I went to college, and it's been now a few years. Now I'm 53 years old.
You're 53?
Yes.
Wow.
So in this last 30 plus years, that's what I've been doing here.
So you came from Dominican Republic and you came and pretty much established your empire here in the United States for the past, you would say, over 30 years.
Yes.
Right off the bat. Nice.
That's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive.
Thank you.
Well, Cryptune developed its own state-of-the-art universal point-of-sale system, as you're aware, which will accept fiat, which is cash. You also accept debit and credit, but also the most cool new thing right now, cryptocurrencies. For example, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, just to name the most popular right now. We would like to know what's your professional opinion concerning Cryptune's POS system in the restaurant business. Like, do you see Cryptune's POS system taking off in the food industry?
Definitely. Things are changing, and if you don't get updated,
Mhm.
if you don't make the change,
Mhm.
you're gonna fall behind. Look what happened to Toys R Us.
I always use that by the way.
Big industry down the drains because that they didn't do what they had to do.
Blockbuster replaced by Netflix, right? So we see that.
So things are changing, and we have to change with it. So definitely technology.
Mhm.
You have to go with the flow. You have to make the changes. So definitely, the coins are going in at a rate that a lot of us can't even imagine it.
Right.
But I can tell you that through all these years, if I didn't make changes, if I
Mhm.
didn't keep myself updated, I wouldn't be here right now.
Wow, you guys heard it. You heard it from the man. Technology is the reason why pretty much you're still in business nowadays.
Definitely. Whenever I see something new, I can see the future, I make a change because, after 30 years, maybe at the beginning I was a little hesitant, but now I can tell you that you really have to go with the change.
I'm glad to know that a successful businessman like yourself adapt to changes, and which is the reason why you've been in business for so long.
Right.
Are you excited about where cryptocurrency is going to? Is that something that excites you, or you just go with the flow?
I'm still learning about the coins, but I can tell you that it's exciting to learn and to be able to stay in business. So I'm just excited to learn more and be able to do things to stay in business. And
Nice.
of course, that cash has been the number one way of paying,
Mhm.
especially in the Latin community that I do business with.
Mhm.
Okay.
But I can see how things have changed, through all these years. So I can tell you that, before it was very, very little people that were using credit cards. Now everybody uses credit cards. Right?
Oh wow, that's a great
Yeah.
example.
So it's the same thing, something new. So things are changing, and I'm just excited to learn a little more. And but I can already feel that this is the way that things are going to run from now, in the future.
So you already see yourself people coming in to your restaurant, dining in your restaurant, and drinking, and at the end, when they have to pay you, they can just pay you with cryptocurrency, and next thing you know, they're out, without any delays or anything like that.
Definitely, I think that's the way, to go. Technology, when you could just grab your cell phone and scan something,
Right.
it's a lot easier, and it's the way things are going.
Right. Well, you also mentioned too about before how credit cards weren't that popular, and now they're very popular, right?
Yes.
So there's a connection also with cryptocurrency in a way, right? Like right now, people, they don't understand much about it, right? But it's here already. It's happening, and it's continuing to grow. So eventually, you do see becoming normal for a regular person to come and just pay with cryptocurrency, not giving you physical paper money or a piece of plastic.
Yeah, that's gonna be something of the past. Pretty soon you're not gonna see any cash.
Hey, you guys see that? I heard that.
So about 10 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
cash was probably 75% of the business.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's the opposite. Now is credit card 75 and cash is 15.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
Wow.
So it's the same thing. It's gonna happen.
That's very exciting to hear it from him too, because he has experienced all of these changes, all these adaptations.
Yeah, well, I could see that because like I used to go to a barber shop and all they take is cash, right? I don't carry cash, so since they didn't want to change with the way things were going,
Mm-hmm.
I changed barbershops.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So they lost business.
Yeah, because to me it's about convenience, and if it's
Mm.
as a customer, if it's inconvenient, then
Right.
and
Right.
I'm not going in. So, I'm glad that there's business people out there that adapts to the community.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty
Yeah.
amazing. That's cool.
So that's a vivid example. See?
I picture him going in, and you know he's about to get a haircut, and then he asked the barber, "Do you take credit or debit?" And he says, "No, I'm sorry, maning, only cash." Well, bye bye, my friend.
Well, I don't want to go all of that, but
I said I pictured you doing that. But Mr. Chelo, you know, lastly, David and I, you know, we have one last question. After today, would you be interested in becoming a crypturian? Actually, crypturian is a person. David and I kind of made this up, right? And we made this terminology with everything that we're doing. And what a crypturian means is a person who will be a faithful listener of the Cryptune podcast. Now, we would like to know, would you be one of our faithful listeners?
Absolutely. Now that I want to learn more about this industry, definitely I will always, whenever I get a chance, listen to you guys.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. I think we should give him an applause.
oh yeah, you're right. New technology over here.
Yeah, of course, that's technology, you see? Give him the...
All right. You're getting way too excited right now with these sound effects.
That's why he's the one that got the controllers, because if not... Well, Mr. Chelo, thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for this interview. We really hope also that our viewers and our listeners can also have the opportunity to learn from you how you have carried yourself for so many years. I personally am taking, you know, all the advice that you have given, even though Cryptune is not a food industry in a way, right? We're a technology company, but certain fundamentals that you use to establish yourself as a business person, I feel the necessity that I also need to apply that. So I thank you very much personally for coming here and sharing your personal story with us.
You're welcome.
Yes, it was truly an honor to have you here. Our second guest here at the Cryptune podcast. Since you wanted to finish segment number 1, you could also finish segment number 2. Thank you so much, Chelo.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys, and stay tuned.